Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, happy Friday morning to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. You're looking at a live shot from our Divine Sky Cam here. It's exclusive here at Weather NorCal. I want to thank Kenny Elwood from Divine Restaurant. Yeah, amazing restaurant. Check it out. This is a view from that restaurant, and you can see the clear skies we do have out there this morning. Also want to thank Kenny Elwood for this camera as well. This is our Lake Shastina Golf Resort Sky Cam, and you can see just a beautiful shot of Mount Shasta. This is kind of looking at the north side of the mountains, kind of a perspective we don't typically see, at least from the valley south of the mountain. And again, this is sponsored by Elwood Ranch. Taking a look at Crescent City this morning, you've got clear skies to start off the day. And it looks like you got mainly clear skies here through a good portion of the day as well. Looking at your Krueger's Quick Cast for your Friday, June 5th, looks like we are going to see temperatures on the mild side again this morning. Not as warm as it was yesterday. It was in around 70 for the Redding area yesterday morning. This morning, more like the low to mid 60s, 40s for most of the higher elevations. And looking at your skeeter meter, it's a 2 on a scale of 0 to 5. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about mosquitoes in your area, you can contact the Shasta Mosquito and Vector Control at the number on your screen. They also remind you of the 4 Ds of protection as we get into the skeeter season. Drain any standing water that may produce mosquitoes, including tires, buckets, gutters, flower pots, and saucers. D, defend yourself and home by using insect repellent and making sure screens are in good condition. The third D, dusk or dawn. Avoid outdoor activities during peak mosquito feeding times, which is dusk or dawn, right? D is dress in long sleeves and pants when mosquitoes are active. Once again, you can contact the Shasta Mosquito and Vector Control at the number on your screen if you have any questions or concerns about mosquitoes in your area. We got a good morning coming in from Jackie Dixon. Trinidad clearing up already this morning on the coast. That is absolutely wonderful. Of course, we saw that on the Crescent City Sky Cam. Of course, that's a little bit of a different, a little bit farther north than Trinidad, but sounds like we're getting some clearing to the south of Crescent City as well. There's your out the door forecast, and yeah, you can see less in the way of cloud cover for the north coast this morning. Taking a look at the area of low pressure over the Gulf of Alaska, that is going to be swinging southeast, and it's going to cool our temperatures off over the weekend. But it's going to remain dry. You can see here as we take you throughout the day today, yeah, looks like some clear skies for a good part of the coast, although late in their day, it looks like those clouds may return, especially this evening into tonight, and maybe a few afternoon clouds for some of the higher elevations. Rain chances do increase for your Monday and Tuesday across the board, so we'll be talking about that in more detail in our deeper dive forecast. But how about another warm day? Temperatures mid to upper 90s in the valley, 80s for most of the higher elevations, and upper 50s to low 60s for the coast. And for tonight, you're talking around 60 for the valley, and for the mountains, you're talking 40s. In fact, mid to upper 40s for the coast. So looking at your 7-day forecast for the valley, you see how it's cooling off. We're about a 10-degree drop from today to Saturday and Sunday. But, upper 80s, still warm. But look at those cooler temperatures by Monday, Tuesday. That's also the chance for showers working their way in the forecast as well. Pretty much everyone, mountains, valley, coast, inland, all have the chance for showers for both Monday and Tuesday. That's when we expect the coolest temperatures before we start to see those temperatures begin to increase again going through next week. And we're talking the potential for triple digits for the first time this year for many in the valley. Fire weather outlook, and you can see that fire weather watch for Saturday. Winds from the west at 15 to 25 miles per hour, and that's for the eastern mountains. Gusts upwards of 30 to 40 miles per hour, and humidity down to about 10 to 15%. Now, even though other areas are not included in that fire weather watch, let's take a look at how there still is going to be that elevated fire weather risk, including today. Hold on. Had to sneeze. Turn up my mic so you wouldn't have to listen to that. But again, this afternoon, this evening, we're looking at some pretty gusty winds, especially on the west side of the valley and even the eastern mountains. But look at the coast. Even though we're not concerned about fires there, it will probably still be a little gusty as well. Taking you into your Saturday, gusty winds again for the valley. There's those stronger winds in the eastern mountains, in particular for the area where there is that fire weather watch. but still a little gusty even for the coast. The good news is by Sunday, I do expect calmer winds, and that'll probably be the case for your Monday as well. So looking at our fire weather risk along with our humidity levels this afternoon, pretty low humidity for the most part in the valley, generally in the low teens. And that fire weather risk is getting in the moderate to a little bit more elevated than that. And then we start to see the fire weather risk begin to drop throughout the weekend because temperatures are dropping and the winds won't be quite as strong, especially as we do go into your Sunday and Monday. In fact, Monday, humidity levels much higher because we're talking about rain in the forecast by Monday. So obviously fire weather risk at that point is not a concern. So here's another look at some of those cameras around the region. You can see the Divine Sky Cam from Redding. This is from Divine Restaurant. If you haven't been there, oh man, I recommend. I was actually just talking to someone yesterday saying they were thinking about going to Divine Restaurant. I said, you go now. And my favorite dish, but they've everything. I've had a lot of the things they've had over there. But my favorite is the pesto, the pasta with pesto, and of course it's got the chicken. Fantastic. The pesto sauce. Nothing I've ever tasted before. It's amazing. All right, anyway, there's your Divine Sky Cam from Redding. Blue skies. Hey, let's take a look at another camera here. This is our Lake Shastina Golf Resort Sky Cam sponsored by Elwood Ranch. Hey, look at that. I mean, you're talking blue skies out there this morning. A couple of clouds off at the base of the mountain there on the right side. And taking a look at Soda Ridge, a different perspective of Mount Shasta. Beautiful shot there this morning as you see the sunny skies that we have there. Taking a look at Lassen Park. I don't see any. No, those are rocks. I see a little bit of a patch on the upper left part there, but that's about it. Not much snow up there, is there? That snowpack is very minimal. Take a look at Lake Oroville. All right, well, I always hate it when it goes to kind of some of the, but it's something that they monitor is pretty much it. Main Street Chico, Highway 32. You can see, looks like traffic is flowing along there this morning, and you can see Highway 99 at Deal Road. Things are looking good as well. A couple people checking in. Here's Crescent City Harbor District. Jeff Johnson saying, good Friday morning. Really looking forward to a cool weekend. I wouldn't necessarily say cool this weekend, but cooler. Instead of the upper 90s, it'd be more like the upper 80s. So there you go. That's kind of what we're looking at temperature-wise. And we've got Curtis Brown saying good morning to everyone. And good morning to you, Curtis. So glad you could join us this morning. Here's a look at Bald Hill West. A couple of patchy clouds out there, but for the most part, things are looking pretty good up there. Taking a look at Fort Jones, of course, in particular, looking at Scott Valley. You've got sunny skies this morning. Well, we've got our Haven Humane Society Pet of the Week. And this week we are going to meet... Oh, I forgot its name, but it's a cute little puppy. Check it out. Hold on. I thought I had it set the way it needed to be set, but I don't. Give me a second. Give me a second, folks. I got to set it the way it needs to be set. Automatically restart with transition. Okay, well, here we go. Let's try that. All right, here is your pet of the week.
Hi, this is Maisie with Haven Humane Society in Anderson, and this is our pet of the week, Mina. Mina is a 2-month-old shepherd mix puppy who came into the shelter when she was just a week old with her mom, Sasha, and her siblings. She is a sweet girl, but do not let this calm demeanor fool you. She is just a puppy and will need lots of playtime, training, and attention. Her adoption fee is $135, but if you come meet her on Saturday, if she's still here, her adoption fee and all of our other animals in our Morgan Adoption Center and at our PetSmart adoption kiosk will be completely waived. That's right, we are having $0 adoption fees on Saturday, and for Saturday only, thanks to the 3rd annual California Adopt a Pet Day. So if you're interested in a puppy, a kitten, a cat, a senior, please come on Saturday and meet all of our adorable adoptables. We have so many dogs and cats looking for their forever homes, and we would love to see you. We will be open here at Haven from 11 to 5, and we'll be at PetSmart from 11 to 3:30. If you're interested in making an appointment to reserve a visiting room, give us a call at 530-241-1653. We hope to see you.
Well, Mina looks like quite the pup, and you saw all the siblings. So if you don't get a chance, like for example, if you wait till Saturday and Mina's gone, you might get an opportunity to check out Mina's siblings. Looks like there were a lot of siblings there, so quite the litter of puppies there. So be sure to check it on out. And of course, those free adoption fees is always a big plus. Well, let's take you into our sponsor, and that is, of course, Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games, and lots of great entertainment. Of course, we were talking about the 12th annual Bacon and Brew Fest that they've got going on, but also some live entertainment coming up here. Tickets are on sale for Tracy Lawrence, June 22nd, so you still have a little bit of time before you can kind of get that going. Uncle Cracker is going to be August 14th on a Friday, so be sure to check that out. And if you're a big Matt Matthews fan, hey, did you know they've added a second show? There was so much demand that they're doing 2 shows on Friday, September 18th. So due to that high demand, I'm sure those tickets are going to sell up pretty quickly, so I recommend that you go get your tickets as soon as you can. Once again, I want to thank Wind River for their support. All right, let's take a look at your coffee with Krueger headlines. One more day of above normal highs with temperatures in the 70s. Wouldn't that be nice? No, more like the 90s, upper 90s for your daytime highs. Gusty winds at times, cooler by the weekend, and rain chances as we take you into early next week. Yeah, we've got some rain chances. All right, so let's get into that deeper dive forecast for your Friday, June 5th. Temperatures are in the mid-60s for the most part in the valley. 40s for most of the higher elevations. Looks like somewhere in the mid-40s along the coast. We have plenty of sunshine out there. There is an area of low pressure here that's going to move in. This is going to bring us cooler temperatures over the weekend and maybe a little bit of cloud cover, but nothing all that intense. And it's going to remain dry with that cooler air, but it's over here. So we're looking at the GFS forecast model. I want you to take note because this is something we're going to compare to the European forecast model to give you an idea that the overall timing, the overall intensity is a little off between the two, but they both agree that sometime in that Monday, Tuesday time frame, we are going to see some form of wet weather. There it is right here. That's what's going to be coming in. First shot here from the GFS, and then another little shot coming in later in the day Monday. So Monday night into Tuesday, you've got a chance for some showers. But GFS is kind of backing off later in the day Tuesday and then drying out for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week with high pressure building in, drying us out. Looking at the European forecast model, this is the cooler air that's going to be moving in. Same story as we saw with the GFS, right? This right here, again, this is what we're tracking. Now, according to the European forecast model, it's going to weaken significantly by the time it gets here. Still a chance for some showers nonetheless, especially Wednesday night into Tuesday morning, but even Tuesday doesn't look all that impressive. Then by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're dry. Same situation. High pressure is building in, and it will be warmer as well. So here is our in-house forecast model. This will take you at least through Saturday evening to give you, Monday evening. So this will give you an idea what that rain looks like for next week as well. So different perspectives. But for today, there you can see we just have a couple of clouds coming in later this afternoon for the coast and even some of the higher elevations, but still mainly sunny through a good portion of the day. That's the case again for your Saturday. Now Sunday there may be some increasing clouds. Futurecast may be underplaying those clouds, but there may be a few more clouds coming in Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Then this is that round of rain. Now what you'll notice with the overall pattern with this rain, you'll notice we're just not looking at a big blob of green over Northern California. You're seeing those patches. So what I'm anticipating with this type of pattern here is that we'll be looking at mainly overcast skies. There'll be some drizzle, some light rain, and then of course some periods of dry conditions for everyone. Now this is going to be your typical pattern where you have the system coming in from west, working its way eastward. So the flow up the mountains tends to squeeze out more moisture along the coastal range, the Marble Mountains, and along the coast where we tend to see more rainfall. Then as that wind goes down the mountain on the leeward side of those mountains, we tend to see a bit of what we call shadowing in the valley. There still will be rain, just not as much. And then those winds go back up the mountains east of the valley, and on the west side, west slope of those mountains, we tend to see more rainfall and then a little bit less as you start heading to the east. So that's through Monday, right? Now we're going to take you with your forecast rainfall totals through about 6 a.m. on Tuesday of next week. This does not include what we could potentially see through the day on Tuesday, but I think it's overdoing it for Crescent City. But you can kind of see that footprint, right? The heavier rainfall with the mountains and along the coast, a little bit heavier rainfall off to the east here. Out towards El Turris, maybe about 1300s. But again, a little bit of that shadowing, a little less wet weather here for the valley. So overall, this is not going to be a big rainfall event, but if you do work outdoors, do note that there could be some wet weather, especially for your Monday, possibly into Tuesday. Chase Wilson will be in throughout the weekend to give you updates on what's going on with the chances for rain. And I will be back, of course, next Monday. Right? And then for those of you that have to make plans to work outdoors, if you're impacted by that wet weather, you'll get a better idea what to expect. All right, so here you go. Cooler, then warmer. All right, so there's a cooler air coming in, as I mentioned here, as we go through the weekend. It's not going to bring us any rain Saturday or Sunday. That stays to the north. There's that second shot of even cooler air moving in. Temperatures it's struggling to get out of the 70s, actually, by the time we do get into Monday, with, of course, that chance for rain. Now, we keep it fairly cool going into your Tuesday and even Wednesday. And temperatures start to slowly increase as this ridge of high pressure builds in. Now, based on the long-range forecast models, sometime not this weekend, but the weekend after that, we may see the potential for some triple-digit heat working its way into the forecast. And there you can see, of course, here's this weekend, right around normal, actually, for tomorrow and Sunday. But look at that, right around 80 for Monday, Tuesday. Absolutely wonderful, but temperatures starting to increase again. By Friday, you're back in the 90s and maybe some triple digits by that next weekend. All right, so let's take a look at your lake levels, and still over 100% for that historical average. Still seeing those minor drops, nothing unusual. Lakes are still very healthy. The wave heights are expected to drop a little bit here later on today, and I don't expect to see much change going into your Saturday. But that being said, there is a small correct advisory at least this morning, but as the winds start to die down, the wave heights start to drop, we'll start to see less of those hazards. There's your neighborhood forecast sponsored by Dignity Health and Grange Co-op, starting off with Trinity County with temperatures in the 80s. Now, really across the board, when you're looking at your 7-day forecast for wherever you are, do note that everyone has that chance for rain Monday, Tuesday. But as I mentioned earlier, it's the west slopes of the mountains that have the most amount of rainfall. The coast, especially out towards Delaware County, will also see the most amount of rainfall and less as you start heading into the valley. But for Siskiyou County for today, there you can see temperatures mainly in the 80s. We're talking 80s for Modoc County today, a bit cooler as we go into your Saturday, Sunday in the low 70s. Absolutely gorgeous there. Eastern Mountains, you're looking at temperatures in the 80s, even around 91 for Susanville, 89 for Paradise and Shingletown, about 83. For the valley, yeah, another warm day. Low to mid 90s for your daytime highs, especially for places like Chico, the high of about 95 degrees. Upper 80s for Saturday, Sunday. And then again, struggling to get out of the 70s by the time we get into Monday and Tuesday. We take you up to the north, 97 for Redding, as well as Red Bluff, 97 Palisadro, 89 in Lakehead. And let's take a look at that 7-day forecast for Redding. Upper 80s for Saturday, Sunday. And it's cooler as we go into Monday, Tuesday, and it looks like we are going to see those temperatures back up into the low to mid, even upper 80s by the time we get into Wednesday and Thursday. So it is going to be another fairly hot day in the valley today, so be prepared for that. But not bad here as we take you into the weekend, as temperatures will start to drop. And then, yeah, that chance for rain coming in for Monday, Tuesday. As I mentioned, it's still a bit of a developing thing where there still is a little bit of uncertainty when it does come to the amount of rainfall we're going to see, the timing of it exactly. And this is why it's important, if you do work outdoors, that you keep checking in throughout the weekend. Chase Wilson will have the latest for you. He does an amazing job. I'm so happy and so glad that I was able to pick him up. He's been doing a great job here at Weather NorCal. And then, of course, I will be back on Monday to give you the latest on that rain and how much we expect, when we expect it to move on in. Honestly, especially this time of the year and this type of system, there's a very good chance that by the time it gets here, it may weaken significantly, and it may not even bring much more than a trace of rain for maybe even for parts of the valley. We'll see. We'll just have to wait and see and hold off until we get some more forecast model data coming in. But even the GFS and the European have been kind of going back and forth each model run on the intensity of the rain. Some model runs showing decent rainfall. Other model runs are saying, it's not going to be that much. So it just depends on its mood, I guess, if you will. So we'll keep monitoring that here. Hey, you know what today is? Today is, I guess, National Donut Day. You know, usually I like to stay away from sugar, and Thursdays are usually my sugar days, but I just may make an exception because it's donut day. My absolute favorite donut, and I don't even know it's really considered a donut, more of a pastry, apple fritters. So if there's anybody watching now, I will stay on for a couple of more minutes so we can maybe wait to see, but where can I get the best apple fritter in town? Would it be Heavenly Donuts, or is there another place that might be better than that? Let me know in the comments if you're watching, and we'll see. If no one comments, then maybe nobody knows. But I'll probably end up going to Heavenly Donuts. But there got to be other places in town that make them and that may even be better. I don't know. We shall see. All right. Well, I'll keep checking your comments, but we're going to get you to the cameras, and we're going to start with this awesome one right here. Yeah, the Divine Sky Cam. And Jackie saying, we appreciate the whole Weather NorCal team. Of course, we can't forget about meteorologist Aurora Murray. She does some fill-in work for me. She works on Mondays after I do the mornings. So glad to have her on board. And I might be utilizing her a little bit more because, yeah, Aiden and I are going on a nice trip in about 2 weeks. Yeah. And I'll still be working remotely. You'll kind of see and follow me along on my trip. Should be fun. Then we got Curtis Brown saying, if we don't get rain, I'm good with cooler temps. I agree. I mean, the rain would be nice, but yeah. Oh, here we go. Lucky Donuts, Westwood Shopping Center from Jeff Johnson. Okay. I'm going to write that down. Lucky Donuts. And I'm going to see if I can find where it is. Oh, Fritter Fanatic here, and Heavenly has the best I've tasted. Oh, so we got a Heavenly vote. And we've got a Westwood Shopping Center vote. Maybe I'll do a poll on Facebook, and we can see what people think. People can comment about where I can get the best apple fritter. I just love fritters. I love fritters. They're so good. And of course, they're evil because they're just filled with sugar and fat and they're fried, but oh man, they're good. So yeah, thank you, Jeff. And then of course, like I say, we've also got Anna saying, Fritter Fanatic here. Yep, as well as I am too. And she says, yeah, Heavenly has the best that she's tasted. Well, there you go. I've had better. I mean, listen, the one at Heavenly Donuts, they're amazing. I love them. Right? But I have had some pretty amazing fritters outside of Heavenly Donuts. So I haven't had Lucky Donuts, so maybe I'll give them a try. We'll see. But yeah, maybe I'll do like a certain kind of, I don't know, a poll or just say, hey, where do you get the best apple fritter in the Reading area? All right, folks, that's going to do it for us this morning. Enough talk about fritters. Let's get you through the rest of the day. I hope you have a great Friday. I hope you can stay cool and hydrated, and we will see you, of course, again, keep checking over the weekend with Chase Wilson, and I'll be back right here on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30 in the morning. Have a great weekend.